What's going on? Come on in, everyone. Please let me know where you're watching from and if you can hear us loud and clear. This is one of our final recaps of the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7. So we have a lot to unpack, including Robyn Dixon's interview with Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live last night. I know you have very strong opinions. So we're going to get into it. You will have an opportunity. It is a members only live chat. We do this at least once a month for our members. And shout out to our senior royals. We also have our separate live. We're going to do a separate live after show for our senior royals when we wrap up this season. Once we wrap up this season, guys, let's get into this. Let's get into a countdown, and I will see you guys on the other end.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Oh my goodness. Happy Monday, guys. I hope you're having a fantastic Black History Month. Last night was the Grammys. We will talk more about the Grammys, Beyonce, Lizzo, Adele, the performances tomorrow during our Tuesday takeover. So stay tuned for that. So we will be covering some of my favorite shows as well. Family Karma, 90 Day Fiance. I got to talk about some other shows as well, including Harlem on Prime. You can see the very first 2 episodes of Harlem on Prime right now. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. All right. We are about to wrap up this season of Real Housewives of Potomac. And per usual, I want to know from you guys that are watching live in the chat, those of you that are watching in the replay, in the comment section, how would you rate the season overall? What do you think of the season? At the top of this episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac, we are getting a full recap. We're getting a full recap of everything that had transpired throughout the season. I'm like, damn, this is long. I know this episode is supposed to be like an extra 15 minutes, but I think if you had cut the top, we could have just had a solid hour. I'm sure the ratings for the Real Housewives of Potomac might not be as high as people might expect for this finale. We also have to keep in mind, a lot of people were still watching the Grammys, even though the Grammys have seen a lot of ratings go down over the years, but people were there because Beyonce was there. I was also on my Beyonce time. That's why I'm late. No, I was really trying to rewatch for a third time. God bless me. A third time this season finale of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't know how I would rate this season. If you were here with me earlier today on Layla Lynn's channel, I gave the season overall a rating of like 6.5. I don't know. I was being very generous. I don't know. It wasn't their best season. Especially when you come to find out everyone is hiding things. And I mean everyone. This is not just Robyn Dixon hiding things. It's very apparent that Karen Huger is hiding a relationship or relationships or an open relationship. However, we haven't caught her yet. Or have we? Or have we? We're going to unpack all of that because I feel like this episode generally was about Karen and about Robyn Dixon. We're going to talk about all the things. But shout out to all of you that are watching from around the United States, from around the world. We appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to be here for one of our final recaps of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Thank you to everyone that sent in the super chat as well. Charrisse. Oh, is this the same Charrisse from the other day? Hold on. Let me pull this down because I want to be able to see your comments. Hold on, y'all. We are still celebrating Black History Month all month long. Charrisse says, Kempire, you're so messy with that game. Hashtag fire Robyn. I did not intentionally start that. Honestly, I really wanted to, if you were here before, I wanted to play this game, fire, demote, or keep. So over the weekend, I decided to start the game on Twitter, and a lot of you were hitting me up telling me that it's trending because of me. And I said, no, I think people just in general want to fire Robyn. So the only reason why I knew it was me, because you see trending with keep Ashley, that was our game we were playing. A lot of you kept on saying, keep Ashley, keep Ashley. So we were trending over the weekend. Also, let me just make sure, because I didn't even double check. Let me just make sure. Hold on. Yes, a new episode of our podcast by the same name, Fire Robyn Dixon, is now available on all major podcast platforms. So if you are subscribed to our podcast, and if you're not, get subscribed. Kempire Radio on all major podcast platforms. A new episode just came out this morning. I'm talking about that situation and everything that's transpired with Robyn Dixon there, but I'm also talking about everything else that we don't get a chance to talk about on other platforms. So thank you, Charrisse, for the super chat. Lady D, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Here we go. Lady D says, Gizelle missed an opportunity to have a real storyline by talking more about fibroids. I and millions of African-American women have experienced this. And I thought that, when they first talked about it, I thought we might get a little bit more, but we didn't. We ended up not getting anything from Gizelle this season. It was kind of interesting that we got maybe like 2 other episodes with Gizelle and her daughters, which I think the majority of the audience loves moments with Gizelle and her girls. But we get it at this end of the season, and it's sort of like, what's happening? Like, what? We will get back to that, though. Let me start from the very beginning. We have a scene with Ashley and her son, Dean. And honestly, Ashley, you keeping me childless but then again, I always say my child wouldn't act like that. Dean rules her because Dean is having a fit. He wants to take his shirt off in public. And she's like, you can't. Nah. She wants to blame the whole divorce situation that's going on with her and Michael. I don't think that's it. I think even if they were still together, Dean has been ruling Ashley in that household since the beginning. Just saying. But she also tells Dean, you remember that house you were running around in having a good time? Well, that's our house now. But wait. When she says our house, she means all of theirs, including Michael Darby. She has now purchased this home with Michael Darby. They are both on this mortgage. And the mortgage is $13,000 a month. And we get a little tour of this place, and the place looks nice, but not for $13,000 a month. $13,000 a month. You know what you could get, even here in New York, for $13,000 a month? You could get a pretty nice place. Probably not as big, trust and believe, but a whole lot nicer. $13,000 a month? That was very expensive. Very expensive. Danny says, Dean is cute, so he gets a pass from me. All right. It was triggering to me. I was like, this little bad little boy. I was like, what's going on here? Behave yourself. Empress says, RHOP is now a show of gossip and posing and scandal. Totally over it. A lot of people, you can see it in the ratings, even though the ratings have been good in comparison to like Salt Lake City. But you could tell the ratings are not what you guys see in the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Even though you like to claim that Potomac is now that new girl, and it's really not, especially after this season. All right. Okay. Amy says that's the Northern Virginia for you. Damn, that's very expensive. Very, very, very expensive. But so she calls her mom and tells her mom about, we finalized, we're about to, be ready to move in, blah, 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 blah. And, even her mom is sort of like, okay, with the whole purchasing with Michael. I'm still trying to figure out, is Ashley just a lot smarter than we think or just really, really dumb?
That's really upsetting to me, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't say that.
Okay. Mocha says Arlington's over the bridge from DC and very expensive. Government employees live there. And honestly, she didn't have to live in Arlington either, though. You know what I mean? She could live in other parts that's not too far from DC. Am I correct? She doesn't have to live in Arlington. That's very expensive, and she doesn't even know how she's going to afford it. She gets paid pretty well on the show, but I don't know if it's well enough for her to be $13,000 a month. And God forbid he's like, oh, I'm not going to help you pay this anymore. Can you pay it for yourself? At this point, I'm wondering what the end game is here. I'm really thinking to myself, is Ashley really this dumb? Probably. Look, probably. Because we found out in the reunion trailer, if you missed our recap of the reunion trailer on Friday, you missed the special live show that we did. We talk about this and we find out that Ashley basically is not getting any alimony. Look, it was only a snippet. Maybe she's only getting alimony very much like a la Crystal Renee in the Neil divorce, where she's just getting alimony for a period of time. Or maybe she has agreed not to get alimony in order to get something else. I thought this too, Miss Brooklyn Diamond. Miss Brooklyn Diamond says next season her and Mike are not getting divorced. You purchase your own place or rent your own place that you can afford. Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe anything coming out of Ashley Darby's mouth. She's just messy. She's so involved in everyone else's situation. Girl, you need to go pay attention to what you signed in that prenup. You need to pay attention what you're dealing with in front of you. And I really wonder what exactly is going what exactly is going on when it comes to her finances. Did she really, when she was doing the show, was she putting her money in a joint account with him or a separate account of her own money? That's what I want to know. Moria says she could have moved to Alexandria. So it was a choice. So she's doing more dumb decisions. More dumb decisions. Really? I don't feel sorry for Ashley, especially after this season. Ashley, you get what you give. Especially in this last scene where she's trying to antagonize Chris. And there's a lot we could say about Chris, but not this season. I'm giving him a free season. I'm giving him a free pass this season. Erica says, this sounds like an investment, not a primary residence. Whatever it is, she sounds dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Okay. We're going to move on. We're going to move on because we could talk about the Ashley situation for days. And apparently that will be her season, her storyline for season 8. All right. All right. So Karen FaceTimes with Mia, and Mia divulges what went down at Robyn's bachelorette party. Did you guys notice that the dress that Robyn wore to her bachelorette party is the same dress that she has worn on Watch What Happens Live before? I mean, there's nothing wrong with wearing the same thing, but I just feel as if you wore it on television before, maybe not wear it again. But regular Robyn. Look. Well, she's also wore that confessional dress, the little rainbow one, when she wore it in Jamaica for her brother-in-law's wedding. Okay, regular Robyn. So Karen FaceTimes with Mia, and they find Mia divulges what was said about Karen. And of course, she puts a little stank on everything that she says. Mia always does. She always does. Come on.
Who said that?
When did she say that? You did.
She always puts some stank on what was said. Okay? So she talks more about what they were saying about her and Karen. Karen's reaction was interesting. Karen did not give it energy, but she also did not deny it, which was sort of to me like, her reaction was her reactions this episode was very interesting to me. But I think we all have said it. Even if you like Karen, I think we all believe that, yeah, maybe there's something else going on. Maybe there was a blue eyes. Maybe this is an open relationship. Okay. But Karen is like, prove it. That's what she said. Prove it. Like, I look. Oh, a picture that you refuse to show us? Okay. All right. So Mia tells her about all the, things that Charrisse was saying, that, she sleeps with any man, any Tom, Dick, or Harry. She also says that she slept with some, what did she say? Oh, she slept with some bartender. At what point did someone say a bartender? And then she's like, oh, maybe some worker. Mia. But the big thing here was Karen was like, did you defend me? I didn't expect Karen to say that. I thought that was interesting. She's like, but did you defend me? And Mia admitted, she's like, no, I did not. I did not defend you. We also have to remember back in Miami, Mia was very upset with Karen for not defending her, even though she was dead wrong.
Lies! The lies!
She was dead wrong. So I'm thinking maybe that's why Karen says, well, did you defend me? But Mia owned it. She's like, no, I did not. I did not defend you. Yep. So Karen literally says in her confessional, she's so done with Mia, which I thought was interesting. Oh, because she didn't defend you in this moment, you're done with her, and that you're putting her on a timeout. I was like, that's interesting. But then I always go back to astrological signs, and I'm like, there must be more to that. There must be more to that. And it must be things that we've seen being played out throughout the season when it comes to Mia. I couldn't be friends with Mia, honestly, to be honest with you. I could never. Could you be friends with Mia, guys? I could never be friends with her. I could never trust her. And look how she treated her friend of 20 plus years. Sidebar, we didn't even get any Jacqueline at this party. Y'all notice that? I just remembered. Jacqueline was not in attendance at this party. The final big season finale party. Of all people not to invite. And mind you, Jacqueline and Candace are actually friendly now. And I asked you the other day, do you want to see Jacqueline come back? I mean, look, I don't mind if she comes back. I definitely don't want to see Charrisse, though. Nope. Okay. I have some nice things to say about Robyn Dixon. I do. I have some nice things to say about Robyn Dixon. And you're probably like, what? What can you say about Robyn Dixon? Plenty of nice things I can say about Robyn. But we'll get there. So Robyn has this separate scene with her parents. Her parents come over, and for the very first time, we're seeing more of Robyn's new home. Is Juan not on the mortgage? Right? I don't think he was on the mortgage. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares at this point? So we get to see more of this house, and I have to say, I was very impressed. Despite her fashions, her decor taste was impeccable. I thought it was beautiful. Her home, from every room that they showed. I mean, she showed her own office, but she never showed Juan's. The home is gorgeous. But again, we have a scene where it seems as if she's forcing to have a scene, but at the same time almost embarrassing her parents by saying, yeah, so we decided we're going to have a wedding in Jamaica in about a month, the day after What's-His-Face's wedding. And she's like, you're telling us because you want us to be there? And she's like, no, it's just going to be. And look, I said this earlier when we were recapping on Layla's channel. There are people that don't have those types of relationships with their parents, and I can understand why they would not invite their parents to the wedding. Robyn has never given us any sort of indication that her and her parents are not close. If anything, she's given us the opposite, saying that she loves her parents and she's close to her parents, and so is Juan. And Juan has known them for almost 30 years. So why, of all people, wouldn't you invite them? And your justification, well, if I invite them, then, my siblings might be upset, and then my cousins might be upset. No, they're not. No, they're not. If you invite just your parents, come on. Okay, maybe your siblings, but they'll get over it. Because fast forward to the end of this episode, that's exactly what you end up doing. So all of these theatrics for no reason throughout the season. Oh, we're not going to. Because even earlier in the season, Robyn said that she wasn't sure she was going to have it in Jamaica or in Maryland. My thing is, if you were considering having it in Maryland, what was your reasoning for not inviting your parents before? And this is why people can't get behind Robyn, because you want to sit around and call people fake, and you're just as fake. I'm not going to even sit and say that some of these people on this cast aren't fake, but you are just as fake as them, if not worse. Fake and... I could say a lot, but I'm not. Look, I'm not. Shout out to all the members, guys. We appreciate you guys being here and taking some time out of your day to be a part of our conversation on the Real Housewives or any topic that we're covering. Don't forget, tomorrow will be our Tuesday Takeover, where we cover a variety of reality TV news, pop culture news. We will be talking more about the Grammys and all of that. Right now, though, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7 finale. I literally stopped watching the finale. Well, I stopped watching the Grammys so I could watch the finale with our TikTok community last night, and that is a big regret. That is a big regret. Because I was like, okay, what are we watching? What are we doing? All right, we're going to move on. So we have that scene with her parents. The biggest part for me from that scene was, this is a gorgeous home. It's a gorgeous home. Robyn, I'm really trying. Okay. We're going to move on. So Mia goes to see her doctor. As you know, part of Mia's storyline this season was the whole cancer, no cancer. You know, the cast were like, do you have cancer? What's going on with your cancer? Are you exaggerating? Or are you just trying to get attention? I mean, you do have a history of lying. Well, we come to find out that she doesn't have cancer. She might have something else. So she did a biopsy for that. So she's seeing the doctor to see what's going on. The doctor basically says, you're not showing signs of this particular disease, but it might be something like a rash. But before they even see the doctor, when Mia is, recalling everything that they've gone through in regards to doctor's appointments throughout the season, she says, when the doctor says that, you could possibly die, and then Gordon says, well, I think you might have misinterpreted that. Not, I think you might have misinterpreted that. I thought that was hilarious that he basically was saying what we've been saying in regards to Mia. Not a rash. I can't tell you, if you were a part of our watch party last night on TikTok, I could not stop laughing at that part. I said, like it's a rash, sir? Ma'am? But in defense of Mia, I'm sure some of you have gone through this before, but maybe you haven't posted this stuff on social media, where you do get a scare, you get a lump, or you find something that looks weird, or it might be skin cancer and you're not sure and you have to wait for a biopsy. So I can understand maybe in the beginning she might have been very concerned and thought that she was going to die, but then come to find out, oh no, it's something completely else. So that's the only way that I can defend her right now. That's the only way I can defend Mia. All right. So like it's a rash is a quote from the doctor. Like it's a rash. Okay. All right. Let me say thank you. We got a couple of super chats, guys. If you're just joining us, this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Amelia, thank you so much for the super chat. Amelia says, Robyn used the prenup as her voluntary storyline. She has no intention of going through with it. Well, apparently she does go through with it, but she does not include a infidelity clause like she was discussing. And as you know, she was on Watch What Happens Live last night, and Andy Cohen drops that, well, you said during the reunion that you did not get an infidelity clause, and now we find out about Juan's not alleged, but infidelity. Because infidelity doesn't mean that he slept with this woman, but it was maybe an inappropriate communication with this woman. Okay? We will talk about that Watch What Happens Live situation in a second. So I feel as if, anyways, look, it's not even, because we're gonna rehash it. Samara, thank you so much for the super chat. Samara says, I live in the area and my friend's selling a townhouse in Arlington for 1.1 million. All right. Damn. It's expensive down there in those DMV streets. Angela, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you supporting the channel as well. Thank you. Erica, thank you so much for the super chat. Erica says, it's clear Karen checked out another reason for this season. Karen thrives when she's activated. Charrisse really drained our girl. # she can go. Y'all are a mess. Boss RN, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you supporting the channel as well. Okay. Pamela, thank you so much for the super chat. Pamela says, you make my day, Kempire, days when I'm down and out. Thank you so much, Pamela. I appreciate that. And thank you for the super chat. Julia, thank you so much for the super chat. Julia says, sidebar, green looks good on you. Love the sweater. Thank you. Not you having the sidebar. Patrine, thank you so much for the super chat. Patrine says, question I have after Watch What Happens Live. If Juan and this woman never met, how did they become friends? And why didn't she call her ball player to pay the bill? I also don't mind if Jackie replaces Robyn next season. I mean, what is Jackie's story? I mean, I would be open to it, but I mean, at this point, I think after watching this finale and how they try to wrap up her story at the end with this wedding, it really makes me think that her story is wrapped up. And these are gorgeous. These are gorgeous photos. It was a gorgeous setup. And I mean, it might have been someone else's setup, and they just decided to plug them in there because remember, she has a friend that owned multiple wedding venues. It was a beautiful wedding. It was a beautiful dress. She looked gorgeous. I think we probably would have felt different if we really believed in their love. I think this would have been such a beautiful moment if we believed in it, right? Someone asked me on my TikTok, said, who do you think should leave? I think Robyn. I've been saying Robyn. I said, if anything, if she does come back, she should be demoted. But at this point, I feel like her story has been wrapped up this season. I told you earlier today, and I've told you before when we were covering the rumors of her being fired, there were rumors that production told her that we need you to either get married or have a baby. And you saw last season, she was with the whole baby storyline. And now this season, after dragging it out, she's getting married after they wrapped filming for the season. So it makes me wonder, did she call productions like, oh, we've decided to get married? I don't know. This wasn't a really good season for Robyn. So I don't know if this was her last ditch effort in saving her job, but to me, it really wrapped up her season for me and her time on the show. But we'll get back to that wedding. We will get back to the wedding. All right, guys, we have over 2,000 people watching, but we only have less than 500 likes. I know sometimes you're watching something that you enjoy and you forget to like the video. But liking the video not only helps our channel, it also helps your channel. It helps other channels that look and cover similar topics like we do here. So like the video, it doesn't do any harm, or dislike it. Both works. All right. So Gizelle and her daughters go out for ice cream. Gizelle, I like Giselle's little jumpsuit, an ode to her sorority. I'm trying. I'm really trying this season. I'm trying. Okay. So she tells her daughters about her fibroids and that she's going to have surgery. But before she even tells them this, she brings up that she went on a date with this guy, Steve. And I told you from the jump when they brought Steve's picture and old footage of Steve, I said, that's not even her type. We could already tell that this is not going anywhere. She does not like this man. She doesn't even want to be with this man. And she just confirms that when she tries to force her daughters to be a part of her lie and they are not falling for it, they're like, we have no commentary. We have no commentary. So she has to add a little funk to it in her confessional by saying, my daughters know I'm not very serious right now. I'm really focused on them. Your daughters are good. You could date. Because what else are you doing? Your podcast? Every U is closed. Discontinued. What else is she doing? You could date. She doesn't want to, though. And I think people are in her ear, producers, maybe the cast, like, you really need to show more of your life next season. Is this a segue to set her up for next season so we can see Gizelle dating? I don't even like when Gizelle talks about having sex. Because it becomes across so unbelievable. I don't, and I'm not saying that she's not having any, but everything about her is so fake and phony that even if she was to bring a man on this show, I'm not going to believe it. And even her interaction, we get to see a never before seen, and her interaction with Steve was so not believable. Come on. Poor Steve. Poor Steve was like, I'll pretend to date you. Oh my goodness. Okay. I rewatched this scene. The doctor says that she does not have, I can't remember the actual disease. She basically says that based off the symptoms, it doesn't look like that's what you have. So, earlier we found that out that that particular disease is what Bernie Mac died from as well. Thank you for the super chat, Danielle. There we go. Thank you, Moko. She says Bernie Mac did die from scarciodosis. Yeah. May he rest in peace. Tina, thank you so much for the super chat. Tina says Robyn and Gizelle need to be made friend ofs. Both are boring. I just don't see it happening. I know a lot of fans are saying this. We were playing this game over the weekend. Fire, demote, keep. We're going to continue to play those games. I even played it with some of the housewives from Dubai, from Beverly Hills, and from Atlanta. We're going to keep playing it on Twitter. And we can play it in the live chat and in the comment section. Of this cast, who would you guys fire, demote, kill? Just kill. No, not kill. Keep. I'm thinking of Mary kill. All right. So back to this. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. We appreciate you. And shout out to all of you that sent in Venmos, Cash Apps. Some of you have been tipping me on our Koji account as well. Thank you. We appreciate you guys. Those do help us continue to do what we do without relying on advertiser dollars, sponsorships. But shout out to our friends over at Rose Forever. If you want to get your rose, more information is available in the description for $25 off. Valentine's Day is less than a week away. What are you doing? You better tell your man, send him the link. Look, send him the link and the discount code. Just say. And those suckers will last you a lot longer than those long stem roses that he's going to give you on Valentine's Day that will die in like a week. Let's be honest. Okay. All right. So Gizelle and her daughters. I always love seeing Gizelle with her daughters. She always feels like herself. And more likable in those moments. So they talk about that fake and phony relationship. They talk about, sorry. Then they talk about her fibroids and the surgery that she's going to have. And I meant to ask this of the ladies earlier when we were doing our collab with Layla and Grace. And ladies in the chat, and feel free for ladies calling in. How would you feel if you had to have a hysterectomy because of fibroids or whatever it may be? Her opening up that she might feel less than herself after removing those parts of her body. I was like, well, I can't speak to that. So I do find it interesting how maybe some of you that may have gone through that, how that would make you feel. But you just, like I said before, with Gizelle, you just don't know what is real and what is not. So it's sort of like, okay. And her daughter's encouraging her like, no, you're still going to be the same woman. At least now you can skip menopause and less fans at church. I was like, I love her daughters. I love her daughter. And you know what? I'm going to defend Angel. I'm going to defend Angel, one of the twins. I'm going to defend her because y'all know, first of all, these are young girls. She's still trying to learn about, some of you are grown and don't know about your parts, okay? So when she says, when Gizelle tells them, my fibroids are so big, she's like, how do you pee? And the girls are like, that's not how that works. Look, when you're having these kind of conversations with your children, they say all kinds of stuff, and that's your moment to teach them, no, that's not how that works. But even after she said it, she was like, wait, guys, I just thought of it, And I was like, all right. I think she probably was thinking something else, okay? Poor thing. Poor thing. Look, I'm defending Angel. I'm defending those girls at all costs, all right? Because I love any scene with them, all right? And I need them to continue to be here. All right. So she's talking to her daughters about that and about the surgery that she's about to have. Which I think is so relatable. Like the young lady said earlier today in regards to this being such a relatable story, especially for African-American women, for Black women, when we talk about fibroids. And I was like, yeah, there's really could been, first of all, we could have went to the doctor with you. Why didn't we? I mean, I get it. You have every right not to share that. But I would have appreciated a little bit more of her own personal story on this season than us hearing after the fact. And of course, she's not going to have the cameras around when she's crying. Why are you on a reality show? Why are you on a reality show? Just saying. Not to say that you have to share these things. Like we were talking with the Robyn Dixon situation. You don't have to share every single part of your life. But if you sign up for a reality show, it's sort of like, and especially when you have nothing else going on when it comes to your story on the reality show, it's like, give us something or get off. Just saying. Look, just saying. Oh my gosh. Exactly. And I want to encourage, we have to stop shaming people when they ask a question that you may seem as if, why don't you know that already? No, I do this all the time. I'm asking, especially, I don't know about lady parts and fibroids and things like that, or how that might feel, or we have to allow people to ask a question that you might deem as not the smartest question. Okay. And she's young. And they don't teach you. They teach you all the things that you don't need in school, unfortunately. All right. I don't remember learning about fibroids in school or lady parts. I went to an all-boys high school, though. Let me say thank you, guys. Guys, we have over 2,300 people here for our recap. I feel like our ratings are better than RHOP's ratings. Angela, thank you so much for the super chat. Angela says, hey from London. What's going on? I definitely will be making it to London this year. Love you, Kempire. You are hilarious. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't think I'm hilarious, but thank you, Carmen, for the super chat. Carmen says, if there's an agreement with the Uyghurs, trust me, it's only because Karen can't bring in no outside bait. Oh, damn. Okay. Oh, Carmen. Danielle, thank you for another super chat. Hold on. There we go. Danielle says, my hysterectomy was the best decision ever. Okay. But did you in the moment, and feel free to call in when we post the call link for members, did you in the moment, after they told you had to do it, did you feel like it would make you feel less than who you are, less than a woman? I'm really interested to know. This is the only way I learn. Ty, thank you so much for the super chat. Ty says, I felt better after my hysterectomy due to fibroids. Much better. But Ty, again, I want to ask a question. When they told you had to do it, how did you feel then? Because remember, we're seeing Gizelle right now in the moment before she actually, goes through with the surgery. But after she has it, she probably will feel like you do. Mama Allie, thank you so much for being, first of all, one of our mods and a member of the channel. Mama Allie. Oops, there we go. I didn't mean to press that, Mama Allie. Mama Allie says, when I had my radical hysterectomy, I mourned for years. I still have bad days, and it's been years. It's hard. See, everyone's experience is very different. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for the super chat. Oh, damn. Gustav says, I don't trust what Gizzard says. Come on. All right. Every time you guys say gizzard, I think of gizzards, and I'm like, wait, I need some. Let me take a sip of my little Kashaba shake, y'all. They're not a sponsor, but why all of a sudden is it windy in New York? What's going on? What's going on? All right, let me move on. So we have that scene with Gizelle and her daughters. Great scene. Okay. Then Wendy and Karen FaceTime, and that's when Karen says that, Mia told me about what the ladies were saying about me at this bachelorette party. But my big thing with Mia was, why didn't you defend me? And then we get that Dr. Wendy Acefo moment where she quotes Dr. King. And not Karen hearing it's as if Karen is for the very first time hearing that Dr. King quote. And I was just like to myself, I appreciate Karen at least just being herself and saying, like, yeah, I've never heard it before, but it is poignant. It is poignant. The silence of my enemies. The silence of my friends. So I thought that was a good moment. A lot of you want to see a union between Candace, Karen, and Wendy next season to go up against these women. I don't think that's going to happen. Because, as I said to you before, as we see at this video release party, Candace and a scene that I don't know why they cut that out. The conversation between Candace and Gizelle, right? They cut that out because I don't remember seeing that in Mexico. But we see it now, and so we're not so confused when we see Candace go up to Gizelle and it's like, hey, mwah, mwah. And I'm like, wait, this woman said that your husband made her uncomfortable. And your husband is still very upset about it. But a lot of you have said this, is that you don't love this about Candace and Wendy. It feels as if they're too forgiving. And I said, I'm okay with them being forgiving. What I'm not okay with is that they're not setting boundaries in these friendships. Because trust and believe, Gizelle will do this again. And I think that's part of the reason why Chris is like, I'm not apologizing to her, and I don't want to have this conversation with her at your video release party. So you probably already saw footage and pictures from this video release party before this season. And Candace, arrives, and Candace is like, are you guys not going to announce that I'm here? Yeah, because the setup is a bar, a club, or a situation. And she says, we like to throw a party. There are some family and friends here and some people I don't know. And some people just taking pictures. And look, the boys heard that there were going to be a RHOP TV situation. And they said, I need to be in there. And I'm going to take pictures. But this is also going to be the season finale event. They always have some sort of big party at the end of the season. That's exactly what they did for this video release party. We get to see all the ladies arriving. A lot of the people don't even know. Is this an album release party? This is a video release party? Okay. So, let me go back to, I just want to make sure I cover everything in regards to before we get to the nitty gritty of what happens at this video release party. Okay? Guys, we're already almost at 1,000 likes. Like the video, we have over, how many people we got? We got over 25, almost 2,500 people watching on multiple platforms. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. I appreciate you all being here. Keep tapping your screens. And shout out to everyone that's becoming a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see something here. Okay, hold on, let me save this. There we go. All right. So, okay. So the editors show Ashley and Gizelle when Candace mentions miserable. And I had to make mention of that because she talks about, just because some of these people are miserable people. And then the camera pans to Ashley and Gizelle. And I was like, no lies told. No lies told. So the group then shares their thoughts in their confessionals on Candace and her music career. And look, Candace has really elevated herself from this platform. She's acting, she has music, all of these things, like a real music career, not like some of these other housewives that do things. She's really, trying to make this be something. and collaborating with big artists like Trina. So they react to this music video. We get to see little clips of the music video. At this point, I've heard that same part over and over again. I'm like, this actually sounds nice, but I did listen to the full song. It's not my favorite. I actually probably like Drive Back more, or the Go-Go remix to that first single that she came out with, her dedication to Chris. The remix, you couldn't tell me that wasn't a hit. Okay? So they play the music video and then everyone reacts. Mia talks about, them being in the parking lot when it was low budget. She's like, now we got a budget. Now it's high budget. Karen, I think, represented a lot of what a lot of you thought. Like, wow, she's doing the damn thing. She's come a long way. And Gizelle, forever the hater, is just like, I don't remember it. Because you were busy trying to be messy, probably too busy trying to stir the pot or produce a moment during this whole situation. You weren't even paying attention to the reason why you were actually there. Just saying. She says, I can't even remember the video. Okay. So Karen and Gizelle have their own conversation. Okay, so they have their own conversation, and this is where Gizelle, again, forever trying to produce a moment. She brings up that Mia called Karen a prostitute. However, if you remember the scene, and I'm so glad the editors included this scene again, that's not what Mia said. Mia said, based off what they were describing about Karen's behavior, alleged behavior, so you guys are saying she's a prostitute? And we all know it didn't make sense, but this is Mia. But what also doesn't make sense is that Gizelle decides, I'm going to stir the pot and be messy and say, well, did she include the part where she called you a prostitute? And Karen's was like, she did what? Yes. She did not call her a prostitute. She says, based on what you guys are saying, are you calling her a prostitute? To me, it was very innocent. And the one time that Mia was telling the truth. The one time. Sidebar. When Gizelle comes in, she does say hello to Chris. And she's wondering if she and Chris are going to have a conversation. She wants to have a moment keep that in mind. She knows that this is the final party for the season. So she wants to have this moment with Chris, maybe to finalize things, because you saw what she said in Mexico. She was like, well, I thought all we had to do was have a conversation and say he didn't mean it and blah, blah, and it would be done. That's what she really thought. She thought that she could make these sort of allegations and that Chris would be cool with it. She thought that, and look, everyone says, I don't want people to think that we do not support women saying that they're uncomfortable with the way that a man may have said or done something to them. But the problem here with Gizelle is that she has a pattern of behavior, and there are allegations out there that they created this false narrative to distract from what was really going on and to create a storyline. And we still believe that she could have felt uncomfortable. But why did you wait months before saying this to Candace, and you waited till the cameras were rolling? But in her head, she was thinking, it's supposed to be this simple allegation. He can move on from it. He can apologize and there will be nothing. And as you saw from the reunion trailer, it was more than just nothing to Chris. He says that he lost clients. He lost, he had to answer to his family. She thought it was going to be a simple storyline because she's a producer and she doesn't realize real producers would never go there. And I think, a lot of people are coming at the producers like, the producers should have done something more about this. And they did try in the editing room. They tried to. But I also think the producers as employers have a very sticky situation here, because if someone is saying that they felt uncomfortable, they're not going to say, Gizelle, you a liar. No, they're her employer. So they have to protect her if she's saying that she felt uncomfortable. And that's why these types of situations are so sensitive. Let me say thank you. Patrine, thank you so much for the super chat. Patrine says, I'll wait until all reunion episodes air and hear what you say about it, Kemp, to determine if I'm going to watch because Andy will disappoint like always. Thank you, Patrine. Brycey, thank you so much for the super chat. Brycey says, I cried for days once I was diagnosed to have a hysterectomy. I am still in mourning since I don't have children, but physically I am doing better. Thank you, Brycey, for sharing that. Wow. See, everyone's experience is different. Janae, thank you so much for the super chat. Janae says, my mother had breast cancer twice. She had a double mastectomy last year. Hardest part for her was feeling like she lost her womanhood. And that's why I feel like with Gizelle, and I get it, you know, maybe if it was too much for her to share, and we were just talking about this on Love and Marriage Huntsville, we were, you know, applauding Kimmy for sharing this journey, but she also did not have to share this journey because it is something so sensitive. So I can understand why she might not want to. But when you're stirring the pot in everyone else's lives that are with sensitive issues, it's sort of like, girl, you have your own real story right over here. Just share that journey. Ty, thank you so much for another super chat. Ty says the pain from the fibroids had me make the decision for myself. I wanted them gone. Wow. Ouch. Ty says menopause is killing me sometimes though. Also, you still get menopause. So Grace, you were wrong. They're young. Come on now. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, we listen to all women. And like Karen with Charrisse, we listen, but we don't hear you. Karen kept on saying that I'm listening, but I don't hear you. Okay? She said that a couple of times this episode. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. We appreciate you supporting the channel. But liking this video is another way of supporting. Following us on multiple platforms is another way of supporting. Sharing this video, sharing our account is another way of supporting. Speaking of which, don't forget a new episode of our podcast, Kempire Radio, came out today. It's called Fire Robyn Dixon. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Subscribe Kempire Radio on your favorite podcast platform or head on over to KempireRadio.com for more details. And don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire Radio YouTube channel because that is where you will see a visual version of the podcast. All right. But don't forget on the podcast, I always add a little extra or something that you may not see on the visual version. So I implore you to listen to and watch both. Okay. Kia says I wasn't hearing them either. Woo, shout out to all the members. We appreciate our members, guys. If you would like to become a member of the channel, head on over to TeamKempire.com/join. It is a members only live chat. You can still watch even if you're not a member, but you can't chat with everyone. We do this at least once a month. And speaking of which, let me drop the call-in link. Hold on, y'all. Let me drop the call-in link for our members. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, let me just do this. So if you are a senior royal, part of our membership, I'm dropping the call-in link for you now. Okay, and if you are a Royal Court member, I'll be dropping the call-in link for you shortly thereafter. All right, let me put this here. And happy Black History Month. Let's not forget it is Black History Month. And thankful for Dr. Wendy Asefo for reminding us an important Dr. King quote during this episode as well. Probably one of the better parts of this episode. Okay. So Mia and Karen have a sidebar. Another moment where she's like, I see you, I'm listening, but I don't hear you. So Mia decides to pull Karen to the side. Ray again is just like, I don't need to hear this. And he shimmies away. I mean, not shimmies away. We haven't shimmied in a while. We haven't shimmied in a while. Shimmied away. Okay. So he shimmies away. And Mia decides to bring up the whole situation in regards to what she said that she's heard that was separate from Charrisse. So it's not just about Charrisse. So she's trying to defend Charrisse here, saying that Charrisse is not the only one talking about these rumors. Because I heard a rumor a year ago about you sleeping with the manager's best friend, and that you had this relationship with this best friend. And Karen's reaction was interesting. Because if it was not true, my reaction would be like, that's not true. I don't know who's telling you these lies, but people will make up rumors all the time. I'm not even saying that she needs to lose her cool, but I was like, Karen, this was Karen's reaction. Like she was caught. And maybe she was not expecting Mia, of all people, to be the one to bring this to her. But I think we all believe that Karen and Ray have some sort of open relationship for whatever reason. I mean, it is 2023. There are plenty of people with open relationships. Plenty. Straight or otherwise. So I don't judge them. But it's continuously coming up on the show. I'm wondering whether or not she will eventually admit to it. But let me tell you something, Ashley Darby. Ashley says in her confessional, she's like, because Ashley also brings this up to Karen. She's like, well, you need to clear it up. She either needs to clear it up or let people know that she's in an open relationship with Ray. Homegirl, you just told us recently that you were in an open relationship with Gollum. You just told us that recently. So excuse me if we don't hear you or take you as a source of wisdom. She only told us because I think he was caught out there cheating. I don't remember. I can't remember all the things chapter and verse. I can't remember everything chapter and verse. But you were denying this whole open relationship with Gollum for forever. So you talking about she should just be open about it. You need to go sit down. And you really should have sat down and sat out. Because if Candace told you not to talk to her husband, that her husband is not ready to talk to you about those issues, you should have respected that. But this is why, Candace, you cannot be friends with Ashley. So she completely ignores you and says that he's not ready to speak to you. And she goes around you to go speak to him. And then basically aggravates him. He apologized after cursing at her. And then she says, well, you did some questionable things. And I don't blame him for getting upset in that moment. Because he's like, I don't blame Chris. I don't blame him for getting upset. Because now you're continuously leaning in as if I really did something and you know I didn't do anything, especially to your friend. Exactly. Angelique says, Candace set a boundary. She has not. And this is why Ashley felt it was okay for her to go right around Candace and go speak to her husband. You think that could be me? If I told you not to speak to my husband because he's upset still about the situation, once I said it, if you continuously are trying to make an excuse for why you should have this conversation, I can already tell you don't respect what I'm saying. But let me tell you something. You're going to understand, do not speak to my husband or get out of this party. That's what she should have did. She should have kicked her out of the party. Shantae says, I was like, what questionable thing? Exactly. What questionable things? Eddie says, hashtag justice for Chris. Yeah. All right. Let me say thank you. We had a super chat. From Hetty. Hetty, thank you so much for the super chat. Hetty says, hi, Kempire. I'm watching with my mom and laughing away. We love your lives. Hurry up and visit London. I definitely will. And shout out to your mom as well. Thank you so much for the support. What time is it over? It's like 10 o'clock in London? All right, y'all. We already have quite a few people backstage, but this supersized episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac was far from over. So we have Karen be confronted by Mia, and then Karen decides to leave with Ray, and then they decide to do, their final group situation, and Candiace is like, I love you guys, we go through things, but you're all strong black women, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Robyn arrives. Robyn arrives in a wedding dress of some sort. Okay. Charrisse is there too. Why are any of these people there? All right. So hold on, y'all. Let me move this over. I'm gonna drop the call link for Royal Court members too, and then I'll drop it for Team Kempire members in a second. All right. So we have the Candace's situation. They make a toast. Karen is gone, so they pull up the little pole thing and then put a flower in it and pretend that's Karen to make this final toast of the season. Oh, sidebar, rewinding just a little bit back. So as Candace is celebrating this video premiere, she does get emotional talking about her music career and her parents and her family and her love for Chris. So I thought that was actually a beautiful moment. And then, of course, fast forward to Ashley ruining this party by coming up to Chris and leaning into these questionable things that he's done. And then he gets very angry and just walks away. I don't blame Chris. I don't blame Chris. He will have another moment at the reunion to confront these issues. Someone said Robyn is always late. She is. She is always late. But she was not late for her wedding. So we finally get this scene. Apparently they were trying to keep this under wraps for a very long time, but it leaked. According to Robyn on their podcast, they believe that someone maybe from behind the scenes of the reunion leaked the information that they got married on the season finale, because that's when it comes out. Because none of the group was invited, including Gizelle, to this wedding. The wedding was beautiful. It lacked what I felt any sort of emotional connection to it. I don't think I would have had an emotional connection to it even before the rumors with this other woman. I think based on what we've seen over the years and the rumors we've been hearing about Juan Dixon, I don't think we would have had any real emotional connection to this. But the way that the editors set this up and producers set this up, showing all of the history over the years between these two, it really would have been like this really beautiful moment. But for me, it fell flat. It was a beautiful wedding. I have to say, Robyn looked beautiful. Juan looked great. But this is a reminder that what you see on social media, what you see in a picture or on TV, is not what it always really is behind the scenes. So stop looking at these folks as couples goals. I know you're all thinking, Kemper, we never looked at Juan and Robyn as couples goals. But there are some people that do. I'm not one of them. But beautiful. Beautiful. Fast forward to last week, Giorgio says drops the bomb with receipts that Juan was helping a damsel in distress. A damsel in distress. He was helping a damsel in distress. So Andy Cohen last night, asked all the questions that you guys wanted answered in regards to her not sharing anything in regards to his cheating on the show. And she's been watching what you guys have said on social media in regards to, oh, well, none of us really share all of our lives. Karen doesn't share all of her life on here. But most of the time, these folks are not caught out there. Most of the time, these people are not caught out there in regards to them not sharing their lives. You've been caught out there. All right? So a lot of you have been reacting to her interview with Andy. Andy asks all the questions that you guys have been asking in regards to why exactly did you share this information after filming had wrapped? Why would you put it behind a paywall on Patreon for people to get this information? And honestly, even when she was talking about the receipt, the hotel receipt, and what Juan told her, and she says, I didn't believe it at first, but I believe him more than her. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, Juan has a history with you in regards to being not being faithful. And everyone's looking at you like, look, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are on the same page that, Robyn, if this works for you, that is fantastic. There are plenty of people in relationships very much like Robyn Dixon. However, we don't want to see it anymore on this show because what you've offered us has been continuously fake, fake, and fake. And then you want to giddy up with Gizelle and support her antics of attacking people's marriages. Because at no point have you said to Gizelle, this is unacceptable, the amount of times that you keep going after people's marriages. Like, how is that your friend? Like, I could not be friends with a person like Gizelle. But two miserable people. Just saying. Thank you, TikTok. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. We appreciate you guys being a part of our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. I did post a under 90 second recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Shout out to everyone that's backstage. I'm going to start bringing people up because I know you guys have thoughts. Angelita's watching on Facebook. She says, Dizzy Jizzy. All right. So we get the wedding. Like I said before, originally it was supposed to be in Jamaica. The editors in their shady editing. We think we're in Jamaica, but nope, we're in Maryland. And her parents were at the wedding and her boys were at the wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. And then, of course, after this episode is taken off, we go into this conversation with Andy. And Andy's asking her all these questions. And I have to say, Andy really was asking all the questions that you guys have been saying on social media. And a lot of you said that Andy was pissed at her. I think he was, because I think what it is, and I think production as well, if the rumors are true that they've been wanting a real story from Robyn over the years, and like, well, get married or have a child, and we're giving you ideas. And she has had a real story, and now we've caught her out there, and you've been holding back from us. So we've given you so many opportunities. I think we're done. I wouldn't be surprised. And the way that they put this whole situation together, it felt like this was it. And the last time we felt like this, the last time I saw people saying that this was sort of wrapped up, their storyline is wrapped up, was with Cynthia Bailey. Well, with Cynthia Bailey, we also saw that she says that she was offered a friend of contract. Honestly, bravo, Andy, production, truly original, Lorraine. If you're watching, I think we're good. One of the biggest criticisms this season, based on everything that's been exposed about RHOP, is that there's too many people on here that are pre-producing their scenes. And we understand there has to be a level of pre-production. However, it's translating into unrelatable. People are not watching. I mean, people are watching, but you get what I'm saying. People are starting to check out. They're starting to check out. All right. So before we get into the callers, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Adrian, for the super chat. Hold on, let me just take this down. Adrian says, Chris had every right to go off. Ashley would have caught these hands. Oh no, not me siding with a white man during Black History Month. Oh my gosh. And shout out to Ebony K. Williams, because Ebony K. Williams was also a guest on Watch What Happens Live. And I know some of you did not agree with what Ebony was saying, but I felt as if Ebony was like, I'm not going to side with this white man in Black History Month. I felt like Ebony was really being Robyn's defense attorney. Like, she was in that mode. Like, there's nothing that you can say to me right now where I can't defend Robyn's behavior. Although she might really believe what she's saying. Okay? But we also have to remember, Ebony's in a different space now. If Ebony was still on Bravo, still on Real Housewives of New York, she might have a different opinion. But now she's not a part of it. She's promoting her new book, Bet on Black. Go get it. All right? Support that Black woman. And I think in that mode, she was just like, I'm going to defend. I'm going to stick beside her. I'm going to stick beside her. I'm going to defend her in this moment. Nisi, thank you so much for the super chat. Nisi says, Gizelle, Ashley, and Robyn are so miserable and eaten up with jealousy. Yeah. It's really appearing that way. TB, thank you so much for the super chat. TB says, did you hear the audience clap the production added for, not the audience clap for Robyn's wedding scene? I was mortified. I need to see the things that you guys pay attention to that I didn't even pay. I was a little bit more bothered that at the end, because, you know, Robyn swears that she has a lot of haters that don't believe in her relationship and blah, 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 blah. And at the end of this beautiful wedding scene, she decides to turn around, give the finger to the camera, and then slap her butt as if she was winning. Robyn. And here's the thing. None of us are offended by you doing that, because you know what? At the end of the day, we will have the last laugh. We will have the last laugh. Because not only was this woman that you know reached out to Giorgio, she's not the only one. Allegedly. Just saying. But whatever you decided to do to be with Juan Dixon, good for you, girl, but take it off our show. And shout out to Katie Roth. Katie's on her journey. They talked a little bit about Katie on Watch What Happens Live. Katie, she's on her sobriety journey. I know she just tweeted that, you know, her doctor just gave her some new medication so she can not have the urge for drugs. She's on her journey. I don't think this is the place for her, especially when someone like Gizelle is on the cast. Dangerous. All right, let me get to some callers, guys, because I've been talking for over an hour. So make it worth it by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, or becoming a member. We appreciate when you guys become members. You guys help us keep the lights on here at the channel. And shout out to everyone on TikTok. We had a poll on TikTok, and you guys rated this season, or the season finale of RHOP, between 4 and 6. 4 and 6. 4 and 6. Wow. All right, let me get into some callers. Let me switch this out. Hold on, y'all. Let's put up my... And how are you guys feeling? How are you feeling about our recap? Are you enjoying our recap, or should I just go home? Or should I just go home? All right. Guys, we have almost 3,000 people watching on multiple platforms. Guys, can we get to 1,500 likes? All right. And don't forget, a new episode of our podcast, Kempire Radio, just came out today. I'm talking about Robyn Dixon, but I'm also talking about a variety of other topics, including Wendy Williams, Beyonce. There's a few different things that we're covering on our podcast. All right. And for those of you still trying to get, you see this thing, I know it's a little blurry in the background, but I already brought it up close. It's gorgeous. And I will have this probably until this time next year. And the price for this is not bad. I think it was like $200 something. And if you use the discount code Kempire25, you get $25 off. Buy something for yourself. Buy something for you. All right. Tell your boo you want something for Valentine's Day. He may have forgotten. It's a week away. Just saying. Oh, thank you guys so much for the love. I appreciate it. All right. We have a long line backstage. Let me drop the call-in link for our Team Kempire members as well. Okay. Those of you that are waiting backstage, I know I tried this before months ago. I want to try it again, though. Those of you waiting backstage, let me know your name and let me know where you're watching from. And then, of course, be mindful of time, because we do have a long line of people backstage. Okay? So let me know your name, where you're watching from, and your short and shady comment. Okay? All right. Let's bring up Tiana first. Hey, Tiana.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So obviously my name's Tiana. I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
I'm originally from the Bay Area though, but you know, I've lived out here for almost 2 years. Anywho, I feel like, so I watched the Watch What Happens Live last night, right? And Robyn is like the friend that's trying to sell you the BS that their man sold them.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm just like, there's no way that my man can say, oh, you know, I was talking to her and you know, and I shouldn't have been talking to her, but I was talking to her. And then, you know, she called me because she forgot her wallet. Okay, Ian, let her be stranded then. Oh, okay, Ian, your point? Oh, okay, well, I felt bad, you know, so I went ahead and I went to the hotel and I put my card down. Excuse me? And you think I'm going to think that you just put your car down and you just walked away.
And let's not forget, she slept with a friend too.
You mean like that? It just doesn't even make any sense. And I feel like Ebony, I know people were kind of getting on Ebony last night on Twitter, but I think Ebony was probably like, she's already getting a whole bunch of hate on social media. She's getting it from Andy. It doesn't make any sense for me to jump down her throat. But I'm sure when they went, after the taping, she probably pulled Robyn to the side and was like, "What?" She was probably like, "Well, walk me through this." So he said that he just put his car down and and we know that men have the audacity. So even if he went to the hotel with the intentions of just putting his car down, he probably wanted something else. He was going to ask.
I find it so interesting that he would do that for someone he doesn't know.
Exactly. And it's also, with her not having the infidelity clause in the prenup, that makes me think that this whole getting married situation was Robyn presented it to Juan. And Juan was like, "Fine, to save your job, we'll go ahead, we'll get married, but you need to take this, you need to go ahead and we're not going to sign a prenup, or you need to take this clause out of there."
Oh, wow, you went even deeper. Okay.
And so I think that's kind of how it was. And then last thing, I cannot wait to be somebody's wife, and I cannot wait to my husband everybody to death. So when I tell you not to speak to my husband, don't speak to my husband. Ooh. Because had that been me, I almost wanted to snatch Ashley for Candace. Ooh. Because you're not going to walk past me and say, "Oh, we're grown." And after you ask me, "Can I talk to your husband?" No, you can't. "Oh, well, we're grown." I'm sorry. If it was my event would have got shut down. Ooh. Because that's just,
or she would have got kicked out.
She would have got kicked out. It would have got called the police. Just go ahead, call them. It's fine. But it's just the fact that she just walked. It's like she disrespects everyone's boundaries, and it kind of reminds you of the Ashley when she first came on to Potomac, just immature.
Good point.
It's like, because remember when she came on, she was kind of very naive to how other people operated within their relationships.
Yep.
And it's like she didn't quite understand it, so she was always crossing boundaries. And you would think someone who's been married, who's not getting a divorce with 2 kids, like, you would understand. It's like, fine, can I call Michael and ask him why? I want to know Michael's motive for buying this house with Ashley.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's something shady. Damn. I feel like it's something.
We lost you, Tiana. Damn, Tiana dropped out. Perfect timing, though. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. Thank you, Tiana. All right. Again, callers, let me know who you are and where you're watching from and your short and shady comment. All right. Danielle's up next. What's going on, Danielle?
Hey, y'all. So, y'all know I'm Danielle. I'm at this line at the McDonald's in the DMV. These kids got me ordering $50 worth of freaking McDonald's. That's where I'm calling from. On the way to a basketball game for my daughter and her friends. So, I'm being a nice, fun mom to pick up the McDonald's.
Okay.
So I'm calling in about the whole hysterectomy thing.
Okay.
I suffered so much, and I think we talked about this over a year ago. So I suffered so much that when my doctor made the suggestion, when the doctor made the suggestion, I felt like it was the best thing, because there were so many times where I couldn't get up, I couldn't move. It was and this was the worst thing I ever did. And please, if you guys judge me, that's on you and Jesus. But this is what I did. I was in so much pain one day. My daughter was probably about 6 or 7 years old, and I could not get back to the hairdresser to pick her up. So I had to put her in an Uber to get her home, because I was in that much pain. And I felt horrible because it was a male driver. She was 6 or 7 years old, and I had no way of getting to her but to watch that Uber bring my baby back to me.
Wow.
So when the doctor said for me to do that, I felt like it was the best thing for me as well as her. And it just made my life a whole lot easier, because I was literally planning vacations around my cycle because I had these freaking fibroids sitting up in me. So again, I get everyone's situation is different, but for me, it was the best thing ever. And I'm so glad I did. And I had a great doctor too. My doctor even came in and prayed with us when my mom and her church friend were there. Wow. So that made us very comfortable as well. And he told me I was barely 40 years old. And his response was, "Kiddo, you're too young to have your, what's the thing called? Menopause." So he was like, so he did I forgot the procedure he did so I wouldn't have to go through early menopause. But for me and my livelihood and the lifestyle I was living, having to plan vacations around my cycle, it was the best decision ever. Wow. It was too much pain. It was too much of the red stuff. I'm not going to be too transparent, but you guys know what comes every month. But yeah, and it was, and The fibroids are why I had a cycle my entire pregnancy. The fibroids are what hid my kid from me, and I never knew she was there
Oh,
until, shucks, after I went to the third doctor. We found out I was pregnant 5.5 months.
damn.
Yeah, because I had a cycle every single month, like a normal cycle too. Wasn't nothing.
Wow. Okay.
So everyone's situation is different. Now I will say, when I did have the breast cancer scare, and they had to figure out, go inside to see what was going on, that scared me most, because I felt like if I had to have a mastectomy, or mastectomy or double mastectomy, then I felt like that did take a toll on me.
Mm.
Luckily, it was not breast cancer. And I didn't have to have any other issues. They just had to remove the lumps out my breast. But that was a scare, because I felt that did have me feeling like, or thinking, how will I be a woman without my boobs?
Mm.
Not wanting to get
Okay.
implants, you know?
Yeah.
So,
All
yeah.
right. Thank you,
And I
Danielle, for
want everyone
sharing.
to come back, and I want everyone to come back in their capacity that they're in now. And I want Jacqueline to come back, and I just want Jacqueline to call Mia out, because I really think these cameras have made Mia become a different person.
And you want Charrisse to come back too?
No, Charrisse don't count.
Oh, goodbye.
Charrisse
Thank you for calling
Charrisse
in
is not even
and
really
sharing
on
your
the show,
personal
so she
story.
don't count. She doesn't count. So no, I mean the real people who were really there.
All right.
And Charrisse is not one of them.
All right,
Bye.
Danielle. Thank you. Bye. All right. We're going to take some more calls, guys. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the season finale for the Real Housewives of Potomac. If you're part of the replay crew, as always, let us know your thoughts, where you're watching from, how you would rate this episode, how you'd rate the season overall, and your reaction to what we got in this finale. All right. In my opinions backstage, I'm going to bring her up. What's going on in my opinion?
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing today?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm blessed by the best. I'm from Center Point, Alabama. Okay, I'm from Center Point, Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very opinionated. But before I start, Kempire, I just want to apologize. Friday, I was going through a lot, and I went in on her, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect your page. But a real woman is woman enough to apologize when she's done something wrong.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to give you that apology on air because I did it on air.
Thank you. In my opinion, we appreciate you.
Okay, so let me tell you. Okay, my comment is only going to be about two things. Okay. And I want y'all to listen to this. So when Robyn was putting her information out on Front Street, her and Gizelle was saying how wrong it was for this lady to come and try to tear up her marriage. What did you get out of it? So now I want to convey the question to them. What are y'all getting out of it for coming for Karen's marriage?
Mm.
What are you getting out of it? Because y'all been doing it all season. So what are you getting out of it? They're probably not going to answer that, but that would be the question that the producers need to ask them. If you feel this way, you put this on your social media and you telling it to the world, what is this girl getting out of it? What are you getting out of it trying to destroy Karen's marriage, Candace's marriage, and Wendy's marriage? Literally, they've came after all three of them. And sometimes I think you forget that you don't have to bring another woman down to climb up that same ladder.
All right. All right. In my opinion, we appreciate you calling in.
Great day, Kempire.
You too. Bye.
Okay.
All right. Let me just save this. Okay. All right. We have a long line, so I want to get through to everyone. I'm going to bring up Mocha next. What's going on, Mocha?
Hey, Kempire. Hey, family. Kempire, that Arlington, Virginia, from what I know, and I know people that live in that area, it is expensive. Let me tell you, they got a Ritz-Carlton there that has a tea, and my niece had her birthday party there. Their tea, the food is delicious. If you ever get down that area, they have a chicken salad that's to die for. And they have right across the street from there is Nordstrom's and a whole bunch of stores. The highway's right there. So, I mean, she picked a good area, but, you know, it is what it is when it comes to Ashley. I think Michael probably is going to do a plan like Bally's ex-husband did to her. When the kid turned 18, he's going to take the house.
Like on Family Karma.
Yeah, maybe he won't, but who knows? And I also had a hysterectomy 9 years ago, total hysterectomy. They took everything out. I went into flash menopause, and I tell you, I have no feelings whatsoever. If you get my drift, no feeling at all, period. It's gone. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I got 99 problems, and wanting a man ain't one. So I'm good with that. I'm good with it. So if anyone's nervous, you gotta do what you gotta do for yourself.
Yeah.
Going through pain. Don't be a martyr for some pain.
Yeah.
So that was it, Kempire. Thanks.
Thank you, Mocha. Take care.
You too.
Okay. Oop, hold on, Mama Allie. Hold on. Let me move this over. Move this. Okay. Mama Allie, what's going on?
Hey, I have three things, but I'll be real fast about them.
Okay.
The first one is obviously the hysterectomy. Unfortunately, I had at 17, I was diagnosed with endometriosis. 32, I was diagnosed with endometriosis again, and that included tumors, fibroids, PCOS. I mean, everything under the sun you could think of. I do have two beautiful living children, but I have 5 angel babies. And because of when my current husband and I met, and I had to have the radical. A radical hysterectomy is literally they take everything out, everything, and they have to rebuild parts of the female anatomy. So, and I went through menopause right away, and that's just it was. I mourned it because I wasn't able to give my husband children. I mourned it because it was just like a snap of the finger of, okay, we're going to go to IVF now. And then all of a sudden it was, nope, we're not going to do anything. You need emergency surgery.
Wow.
And so that's why I mourned it. And I think that's why I still mourn it to this day.
Mm.
But I know somebody was asking or commented about the whether you go through menopause. Menopause is very weird. There's multiple levels of menopause. There's multiple types of menopause. So there's natural, there's surgical, there's all that stuff. So some people, it's menopause is what gets you more than the hysterectomy. And some people have easy menopause. I went through menopause in my early 30s, and that was hard. Like that was kind of probably the hardest part, and all that. But then my last thing was the cancer scare. I actually went through that similar to what she did. And it was honestly, it was the doctor's mistake. And it was a huge mistake. And we were told that I had leukemia. And they were about to start everything, like chemo, radiation, everything. And I said, no, I want a second opinion. So for 3 full weeks, we thought I had leukemia and that I had a limited amount of time to live.
Wow.
And all this other stuff. And when the specialist came in, he laughed. I mean, I was bawling my eyes out because I'm living, the doctor was wrong. But yeah, so you always be your own advocate. Get second opinions, get third opinions, because you never know. Don't agree to something if you're not sure.
Yeah.
And so
thank you, Mama Allie, for sharing that.
No problem. But yeah, that's all.
Take care.
Bye.
So that reminds us that we shouldn't be completely mad at Mia, because you saw what Mama Allie just said. So sometimes initially, maybe Mia shouldn't have taken it to social media, but like some of you said, maybe she's trying to help other people to get checked. Maybe. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's get to some more callers. We're going to try and get to everyone. Everyone be mindful of how long you go, because I'm not going to be able to get to everyone if you run long. Okay? Just keep that in mind. All right. Say, Pep, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Sharon?
Yeah, this is Sharon. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. You know, I'm in the home of Chiefs Nation,
A mess. Okay.
Missouri. My thing about it is about with Robin's situation with Juan. My thing is the girl married him, so she must love him.
Mm.
They went through it. It's over. She told her story. She should have kept it. Um, but I don't think she should be fired. I think she should come back next year.
Okay.
And I'm glad that the girls. I'm sorry. I'm probably the only one. I'm glad that they exposed Karen because Karen has been coming for the girls hard,
Okay.
and especially Gizelle. And you remember last season, Giselle said, "I got a lot of stuff on Karen, but I'm gonna wait and let somebody else do it."
Mm.
She did this season. And I'm
Got it.
glad Charrisse came in and exposed Karen. I know Karen's type. Karen is about the same age I am. I know the dirt I did when I was younger, so I know she did the same dirt
Oh, damn.
and is still doing it at her big age of 59.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's all I had, uh, Kempire. You should have watched the Grammys. I was jamming.
You know what? Goodbye, Sharon. Thank you for calling
Bye.
in. Sharon, a mess. All right, let's get to some more callers. Miss Beverly's backstage. We're going to bring her up. What's going on, Miss Beverly?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. As you said, my name is Beverly. I'm from Sumter, South Carolina. So I'm in the southern state and I love it. But anyway, I am going to have to disagree with the previous caller.
Hmm.
Yeah, Karen probably does what she does, but she owes nobody an explanation. I mean, why should she expose everything she's doing when the rest of them don't? And I guess Karen has the mentality what's between her and Ray don't have to be explained to nobody else. And I subscribe to that school as well. Also, I don't know whether anybody picked up when it was going off and it was saying that Chris is no longer at the hotel. And I'm wondering if this season has something to do with it since he said he lost clients.
Yeah.
And so there goes, that's an example of when you falsely accuse people, they can you lose their livelihood.
Yeah.
Robyn patting her backside, which, like you said, in the end, we'll have the last laugh because Warren looked like he was being dragged to the guillotines when they when they were going to that wedding scene. Yes, the scene was lovely. That
Yes,
wasn't a real
beautiful.
wedding. That was a scene. And as far as for all the ladies that's listening, fibroids are more common in the black population of women, and you don't always have to have a hysterectomy. There's a procedure called a myomectomy where they remove the fibroids, but I opted for the hysterectomy. I was in my 50s and I was past my childbearing years.
Mm.
So a lot of times, if women get them and they're younger and they still want to have kids, speak to the doctor about the myomectomy where they remove the fibroids. And if you remember, Portia actually had the procedure when she was there because she had fibroids and she still wanted kids. So just a little bit of things to let you know. But as far as this season, I'll rate it about a 5.5 because it was dark. This season was dark with all the accusation, especially for poor little Chris. And Ashley cannot go in anybody's husband face with that touchy feely man she married. So she needs to think about that. But that's all. I probably have more, but I just can't remember right now.
Thank you so much for calling in, Miss Beverly.
All right. Bye
Take
bye.
care. And for the education, I'm learning a lot. I do know that, especially in the black community, black women suffer with fibroids a lot more. And I know there's different research in regards to possibly why. It's a very sad situation. And I love that you guys are sharing your personal stories, and a reminder to those that are watching on multiple platforms to be respectful of people sharing their personal stories because they don't have to share this. And the fact that they're even sharing it could save someone else's life. So thank you to everyone that has shared. Ms. Brooklyn Star, we're going to, because these are going to be the final callers. So callers, be mindful. Be short and shady to the point so we can get to everyone, because y'all know what time it is. It's time for Kempire to eat. All right. But before we get to the calls, let me just say thank you. We had a couple of super chats. Let me just say thank you. And thank you so much for the super chat. Ann says, as a Taurus, you can appreciate how difficult it is to share. And that's why I understand. Currently recovering from fibroid surgery. Oh, wow. 2 weeks ago, the toll it takes on one's mental health. 80% of Black women will have them by age 50. And speedy recovery. And thank you so much for the super chat and for sharing your personal story as well. And the factoid. Hold on. Angelique, thank you so much for the super chat. Angelique says, I just want to take a moment for the men. Chris and Ray were so disrespected for these women trying to have a moment. Also, if I say don't talk to my man, do not talk to my man. I agree. Look, I don't have a man, so but even I would be like, if I told you not to talk to him because I know he's upset and will be upset by what you're saying, then don't talk to them. Lonnie, thank you so much for the super chat and for my look. I finally checked my PO box, and I had a Christmas card from Lonnie. Thank you so much for the Christmas card, Lonnie. Lonnie, and thank you for the super chat. She says, "I'm just happy to be a part of the live show. I always watch the rewatch. Hit that like button, everyone. Thank you, Lonnie. We appreciate you." Look, I get it. A lot of you guys are back at the office and you don't have time for me, at least not during our lives. It's okay. You're watching the replay crew. Replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Let us know your thoughts as well. And let me know if you're back at the office. Just saying. Lisa Faye, thank you for, hold on. There we go. Thank you for the super chat. She says the fibro talk is helpful. Thanks to all for sharing. See? Thank you, Lisa. All right. We try to do, look, as much as we can do, look, this job is not, look, we don't wear a cape over here. This is not, we're not healthcare workers. We're not doctors. But I think when you hear someone else's story, it is helpful. All right, let me get to these callers. Brooklyn Star, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Brooklyn Star?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so this episode was horrible. Don't like the way that they treated Ray and Chris. Yeah. My thing is, it's just that Robyn is foolish. I'm not taking bullets for Juan when we already know his character. What are you protecting him for? I would have just said, hey, we were getting blackmailed or exploited and, and left it there. Like, I don't want to go any further till we resolve it. She was just doing way too much to save what reputation of Juan's. We know what he is, and she does as well. Ashley is a very foolish person. Ashley thinks we're dumb. Ashley went back to Michael acting like she was getting some fantastic post-nut. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Like she was going to get some kind of lucrative package if she stayed with Michael, just to be empty-handed and broke with a $13,000 mortgage. That's about a $2 million home.
Okay, thank you.
If I wouldn't go into it with Michael, but I would instead want Michael to leave it in trust to my kids. By then, Ashley probably have another little old man somewhere. Okay, I would rather leave it to the kids. I'm not gonna be responsible for half a mortgage to this house. That's a lot for her. Yeah. And also, I think production. I notice little things. Production needs to rent places that are in use. Like the struggle that I watched these people walk up those stairs in the no AC had me gagging. I was like, they were hot. The stairs looked like they were taking people out. It was ridiculous.
Not taking people out. Come on.
Did you see? I thought Charrisse was gonna faint at the top of the stairs. It was a little bit much.
Those steps were very steep.
Oh my goodness! And they started fanning, and I was like, "Oh, another place that has no AC. Rent some place that has AC." And I truly believe that if you see me with my husband, and if you guys know he's a cheater, trust and believe I know he's a cheater as well. I would prefer that you mind your business. I'm working out a good little Lux exit plan for myself. Trust, I would know. Okay, but I think Ashley and Robyn are two foolish people. I don't know. I guess it's love. I don't know why they're in the situations that they're in. I think it's a needy thing. I think they need the love of that person. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
Okay. All right, Brooklyn
Also, I
Star.
got my Beyonce tickets, Kempire. There's some fantasy tickets and there's affordable tickets. So you will find a ticket if you
Fantasy
got
tickets.
no like VIP. That's $2,000 to $3,000, but you can get. I don't like floor seats because you can't see above people's heads. I seen
Yeah.
one for like $550. There was like car payment tickets there, and then it's affordable. You'll find something. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Brooklyn Star, for always bringing
No
some
problem.
valuable information. Take
All
care.
right. Bye.
Bye. Oh, we're gonna have to talk more about Beyonce tomorrow. She broke all kinds of records. The Beehive is upset. They're upset that she did not win album of the year again at the Grammys. We'll talk more about that during our Tuesday takeover tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. PST. Let's get into some more callers. We're talking about the latest and final episode of season 7 for the Real Housewives of Potomac. We're live on Facebook, the Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. We're live on Twitch and Twitter, and we're live on TikTok behind the scenes. And you guys are getting in with the conversation there as well. Thank you guys so much for tapping your screens and for the gifts and the follows. We appreciate you. I'm going to bring up Miss Brooklyn Diamond next. What's going on, Miss Brooklyn Diamond?
Hi, everybody. It's Miss Brooklyn Diamond, and I'm calling from Brooklyn, New York. Sorry. The Ashley Karen situation, I'm with you on that. Ashley was hiding her situation with Michael the entire time when they had an open relationship and literally let Michael get dragged over and over and over again just to keep her secret that they had an open relationship. So she needs to take several seats. Whatever Ray and Karen might have, and we don't know, there's a significant age difference between them. And it could be that Ray said, listen, once I get to a certain age and I can't perform anymore or whatever the case may be, as long as you keep it, on the low, whatever, do your thing, I'm okay with it. And if that's their relationship, that's their relationship. And people need to keep their noses out of other people's relationships when it comes to stuff like that. Like the other caller brought up with the Chris situation, I feel that there needs to be accountability. I think Bravo needs to step up and hold accountability. You cost this man a job. You cost this man clients with these false accusations that you made and carried throughout the season. And to be able to walk away from that and have him suffer all on his own and have his family suffer from stuff that you made up just to have a storyline on a show, that's not cool. And there needs to be an accountability and said, we're not going to go for this anymore. As far as the Juan and Robyn situation, everybody's calling Juan a cheater, but let's be real about this. They were not married, and I doubt very much they were in a relationship. So to call Juan a cheater when we all know that whole storyline was fake. He wasn't cheating. He was doing him. And Robyn just got caught out there because she was trying to make a story when her story, for me from the beginning, really could have been two people who were divorced but dedicated to staying together in some sort of way and raising their kids, and how that was going on, how you were living together but having separate lives but trying to raise your children. That would have been a much more interesting story to see. Well, how do you deal with when he's dating, and how does he deal with when you're dating? That would have put her kudos in the center ring the whole time. And for the Mia situation, I give Mia a slight pass because when it comes to lymph nodes, if you don't have an active infection, the first thing that they think of is that you have cancer. And I know this because I went through this with my daughter when she was a baby. She was a premature baby. She was born prematurely. And over the course of months, she had many illnesses, and eventually she had to have a blood transfusion before she was at the age of 2. And something in the blood transfusion triggered a lymphatic reaction. And they were testing, and they literally had to remove the lymph node behind her ear. And when they tested the lymph node behind her ear, it came back positive for cancer. And they did other tests and they removed other lymph nodes, but the other lymph nodes didn't come back positive for cancer. So she ended up not having to, go through everything. But when they did further testing and investigation, it was something in the blood transfusion. There was some, I don't want to say, like, what, as it was explained to me, everybody has a form of cancer in themselves that is natural to your own body, that it doesn't affect you, because all cancer is when cells grow at a pace it shouldn't grow at. That's really what it is. The basics of it. There's more scientific to it, but the basis for us, non-medical people, it triggered something in that lymph node that made them think that it was cancer, but it really wasn't. It was that lymph node doing what it was supposed to do, which was catching foreign bodies, because your lymphatic system is part of your defense mechanisms, your body's defenses. No. And it was catching foreign bodies that were dangerous to her. But because of, everything else that she went through when she was firstborn, she had many health issues. That was the first thing that came to mind. So when she said, they were doing lymph node tests and her lymph nodes had started swelling up, if there's not an active infection, meaning you don't have fevers and all of this other stuff, that's the first thing they go to, because your lymph node system should not be triggered under any other circumstances. So I think she might have she might be a hysterical person and went off the deep end with it. But I can give her a little bit of a pass of being afraid. Yeah. Because I do know that when my daughter was young and we were going through this and no one could give me answers, and you try to Google schmoogle and do your own research online, and the first things that come up are always the most horrible. Yeah. That gets set in your mind as to, oh God, I've got cancer. Oh God, it's this. Oh God, it's that. Oh God, it's the other. And then it comes back, it's it's rosacea, or it's eczema, or it's, something that's so minor that you feel like an idiot afterwards. But, that's just human nature.
Yeah. Well, thank you for breaking that down and sharing your personal story, Miss Brooklyn Diamond. All right. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let me say thank you. We had a couple of super chats that I missed. Niraj, I don't know if I read this, but thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Starless Robyn can go over her boring life and lies. The last lady should be demoted since she knew of Robyn's lies. Thank you, Niraj, for the super chat. Seaways World, thank you so much for the super chat. I think I missed this one as well. Gizelle and her daughters had me hollering. I had to go look up the female anatomy before and after a hysterectomy, not the floating ovaries. You know what? Thank you for the super chat. Okay. And Mama Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Another one. She says, it's also Heart Disease Awareness Month. Ladies, get your hearts checked and don't put it off. This is true. This is very, very true. And did you guys know your teeth are important for your heart health too? I talk about it. If you listen to my podcast, you already know I talk about it all the time. Just saying. If you haven't gone to the dentist, just saying. Anyways, let's move on. Let's get to some more callers, guys, so I can wrap this up, because I've been live almost 2 hours. All right. And I'm sitting on this thing that's, not my regular office chair. So it's supposed to help my posture. Look, along with Pilates and everything else I'm trying to do to keep so I can stay healthy, so I can continue doing shows like this. Okay. All right. Mrs. ATLian Stan, I'm going to bring you up next. Okay. What's going on, Miss ATLian Stan?
Hi, I am from Maryland, and I want to say I got a water irrigator because of you. So heart health and teeth health is all in there together. I'm going to keep it short and shady. Okay, I have empathy for Robyn as she accepts Juan's mansplaining, but you can't break her soul. By the way, Juan is still named as the defendant number 5 in the lawsuit.
I did hear that.
She also said that she could cheat as well. That's why she didn't put that in the prenup clause. Because in reality, when you're married, somebody could get sick and you might need some. So she thinks about those long-term things. So, and one more thing. Ashley got some white privilege issues being married to Michael. If you recall, she had the whole white privilege issue having a fight with Candace in her house. She got kicked out and then she came back in. And then, if you remember, Michael rolled up on Chris at the season finale trying to talk to him, and he didn't take no for an answer. So she felt the privilege to just roll up on her husband, even though she asked permission to go talk to her. I want her to realize You know, when you're with Michael, you probably can pass for white. But on Real Housewives of Potomac, you're still black. That's all I have to say. You have a good day.
You too. Bye. Woo! You guys are on fire. All right. Judge Justice, you came in after I said I'm not taking any more calls, but I'll take you. But in a second. Let me get to Seaway and Flowcat first. All right. What's going on, Seaway? What's your comment?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
I watch you all the time, but this is my first time calling.
Thank
So
you.
I'm excited to get a chance to catch you, even though I am at work too, low key. But I just had a couple of things. First, I'm on the younger side, but I did have fibroids, and I actually had what they call a laparoscopic myomectomy, where they go in with like a little small tube, and they're able to get fibroids that are large, but on the outside of your uterus. So for any of the ladies who have fibroids, you don't have to get the full myomectomy. You can get the laparoscopic one. And that allows you, when you do decide to have kids, because I don't have kids yet, you don't have to get a C-section because they're not actually making a large cut in your uterus. But a lot of people don't know, sometimes if you have this myomectomy earlier, you are forced to have a C-section when you do decide to have kids. You can still have kids, but you have to have a C-section. So that's a fun fact that I learned 2 years ago when I had the procedure. So I just wanted to share.
Thank you.
Yeah, only thing I really have is that I personally feel bad for Robyn. I think most people would feel bad for Robyn, especially watch what happens live and seeing what she was saying. She really seems like she is being played for a fool. And it's sad to watch. I think more people will feel bad for her if she didn't have a complacent role in the demise or the potential demise of other people's marriages. But honestly, it seems like the time in is better than the potential time out with someone else. And she's willing to lie to herself and everyone else to keep this up. And yeah, I think Juan is probably the only one winning in that situation. I think she's not getting, I don't think she, in their agreement, I think the only person that was probably allowed to have a situation was Juan. I don't think Robyn was out there doing her. And I think that's what makes it sad. If you have an agreement like Karen and her husband, you know, then that's, you know, that's fine. But I don't think they have that, you know, particular situation. So we just need to say a prayer for Robyn.
Or Juan is just sloppy. And I do know this from all my girlfriends. Women are really good cheaters.
You're right. He is very sloppy. I don't think he was holding hands with the blonde in Georgetown. Karen had me in tears with that description. But I'm sure there's definitely more women. And for that, Bravo's going to give her another season because there's more women to come. Okay. I believe that. I don't think she's going to be fired as much as we think she should. I do not think that she's going to be fired because her life is a mess. And Ashley, Darby, and the rest of them, even though their lives are a mess, they're not showing as much. So that's what I think, Kempire. But I'll keep it short.
Thank you, Seaway. Take care. And thank you for sharing your story.
No problem. Have a good one.
You too. And just a disclaimer, guys, these are people sharing their personal story. As always, you should be seeking out professional medical advice from your doctor and other doctors. Just want to put that out there as well. These are just women sharing their own personal stories with fibroids. And I'm so appreciative because I can't tell you because I'm not a woman. So I do appreciate all of you calling in and sharing your thoughts. And Replay Crew, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section as well and your own experiences. All right, Flowcat and then Judgy Justice, and then we are going to wrap this up. Flowcat, thoughts?
Hey, Kempire. Hey. I just want to say I've been in 3 meetings today. I didn't take a single note, but I have notes ready for this call. Anyway, I don't think Robyn is telling us the truth. I think whatever agreement her and Juan had, she knows Juan went to the hotel room to be with that woman, but she's lying to us because she thinks she's smarter than us because she's in PR. And I also think, honestly, Juan, you mentioned this earlier, like, why does Robyn have to answer all these questions? Because it's her job and she's getting paid. Juan isn't getting paid by Andy Cohen. So I wish Andy Cohen would ask him a question. I get it. Karen and Ray, honestly, I see no evidence that she's cheating. It's the same 3 people saying that she is. Unlike Ron, where there's pictures of him and his girlfriend, hey, Gabrielle Union, and articles where he said, this is the love of my life. It's a totally different situation. Ashley and Chris, why don't we like Chris? Is it because we think he's living off of Candace? Is it Ashley living off of Michael?
Me personally, there's just certain things that Chris has done over the years that have made me not really love him. I don't hate him though. But there are people that don't like Chris because they do feel like he's living off of Candace. I don't think that either though.
I think it's 2023. He clearly loves her and she loves him.
Yeah.
Moving on. I think I understand why we don't like Charrisse's dress, because that's similar to the dress Wendy wore in the reunion. And I think if you're top heavy, it just looks somewhat matronly, because I did not like Wendy's dress at the party.
Oh, okay.
And I know it's kind of similar to Charrisse's dress.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm moving pretty fast. Anything else I want to say?
You took notes?
That's it. I don't want to body shame.
Yeah.
But I think Charrisse is just looking crazy inside and out. Because I don't know why you're harassing a married woman about cheating.
Like, this would have been a perfect opportunity to show more of herself, more personality, even though a lot of you said she didn't have personality before. So what's she going to show?
Yeah, she doesn't have it. And seeing just, someone else said it once, but Karen looks how, actually, no, that's not nice. Moving on, it doesn't matter.
Flocat, come on.
Okay, thank you. Bon appetit.
Thank you so much. Take care, Flocat. Flocat had 3 meetings today, y'all, and she didn't take a note from either of them, but she took notes for our recap, so we appreciate her. All right, Judgy Justice is going to be our last caller. What's going on, Judgy Justice?
Hey, I'm so sorry I'm late, guys.
No, it's okay.
I was trying to run away from my boss. So
you know what? Everybody's hiding from their boss today.
I had to tell them, I was like, I'm going to ping you back later. I'm on Kempire. And I left that last part out. But anywho, so overall, I felt like the finale was a 3. I didn't feel like I got any resolution. I feel that overall it was trying to, do things that they should have done early on in the season, which was trying to like work it out, or like talk about it, stuff like that. If she really wanted to, like, I feel like if Gizelle genuinely wanted to like address it with Chris and Candace, they could have easily set up a little fake lunch and sat down and talked it out. She thought that this would be her, and then she put a battery in Ashley's back to then go try and do it to see if maybe he would be open to it, because then she probably would have came up and like, threw in some other stuff into it, because every time she's addressed it, that's like where my issue is. Every time she's addressed it, she has added some extra lies to it. It's not sauce, it is lies. Because how does it change from you guys sat in your room, talked, and he left when you asked, to he was trying to be a sneaking link, and then he was doing this and that. That's craziness. And and then for him to actually, I felt really bad for him when I saw the reunion, that he lost jobs, lost opportunities. He doesn't even work at that same hotel anymore now, this present day. Like, he's missing out, and he has children to feed, just like you.
Yeah. Like,
that's not fair. Also, Robyn, I don't believe anything she said on Watch What Happens Live. She's a liar to me.
Ooh.
And they brought down her. And I don't like Andy Cohen for not pushing back. Like, all he had to say was that, well, me and the viewers don't believe you.
Oh.
We feel like this is hypocrisy, because even in that interview, she turned it back to the fact that, like, she was like, oh, well, I was going to bring anything that didn't happen on the camera back to the show. But then she admits, like, less than 2 minutes later, that Gizelle got the picture of Karen's butt at the Redskins thing, and then she brought that to the show. So it's just like, but then Giselle's allowed to bring up something that happened at the end of last season to this season. It just doesn't make sense. And it's really like, I'm from the DMV. I like seeing places that I know and I've been to. I'm like, oh yeah, I go here. I like this. I go to that place, and it's nice to see a piece of yourself on TV, but like to see people that are just so tormented, so evil, taking this time to not build themselves up, to build actual greatness in the community. It hurts, because I don't want people to think that this is a reflection of our community here. We're not liars. We're not people that are going to hurt you and lie and sneak diss you and stuff. We're going to tell you to your face that we don't like you.
Oh. Okay.
Well, thank you, Kempire.
Thank you, Judge Justice.
Eat something delicious.
Thank you. Take care. I'm gonna have to make that something delicious. Let me switch this out, y'all. Oh goodness. All right. Hold on. Let me pull this up. There we go. All right. Why did I have that one? Hold on, y'all. That's because these are old. All right. Anyways, guys. Oh, my butt hurts sitting on this thing. I almost fell on live. That would have been not hilarious for me, but hilarious for you. First of all, thank you to everyone that called in. We appreciate you all sharing your personal stories. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. AC, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Hold on. And Dub, thank you so much for the super chat. Loving how aware the Kempire is. Health is wealth. Amen. Amen. Okay. And Blue Raven, thank you so much. Blue Raven, thank you so much for the super chat. She says tomorrow is National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day. Get tested. HIV impacts Black lives more than any other. Thank you so much, Blue, for that. And I just got tested, so I'm good. Yay! Look. Yes. And I go to the doctor regularly. That's a reminder too. This is why I always tell you, you should be going to the dentist because that affects your heart health. But you should also be going to the doctor regularly, especially as you get older. That's how I discover if something's an issue. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Because look, your heart health, heart disease is a silent killer. You don't even realize that your heart might need, that your cholesterol might be high, your blood. You don't know until you go to the doctor and like you do blood work and they're like, things are not working. So if anything, we can appreciate that this episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac reminded us to talk about health, to talk about fibroids. So at the very least, thank you, Gizelle. Anyways, so finally, the final episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 is gone. It's behind us, but we do have a 3-part reunion coming, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, because this Sunday coming up, it's football. The Rihanna concert. The Rihanna concert is happening next Sunday, so there won't be a new episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac, but we will be recapping it together with Layla Lynn and Grace Report next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be at a different time not next Monday, the following Monday here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. And if you are a Senior Royals, we will be doing a special after show just for Senior Royals. So if you would like to become a Senior Royal member, head on over to TheKempire.com/join so you don't miss out on the exclusives that come with that part of the membership. But thank you to all of our members. This was a members only live chat. So we appreciate our members for helping us keep the lights on here in the studio and so that we're able to continue to create freely without relying on sponsors or advertisers and things like that. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to our moderators, our King's Guards. We would not be able to do this without them. So please say thank you to our moderators. And as always, this season of the Real Housewives of Potomac, I'm actually happy that it's done. It wasn't my favorite, but I'm happy that it's done. The reunion looks like it will be interesting. We will unpack that more. And we shall see. We shall see what season 8 will look like and who will be a part of it. We'll see. As always, guys, let's get out of here with some music. Thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of your Monday evening or afternoon or night, wherever you may be watching from. Thank you all for being here. Bye, y'all. Shout out to the replay crew.
Yeah, I know. You was right and I was wrong. Yeah, I know. You was right and I was wrong. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket, ay. Yeah, I know. You was right and I admit it, that trade can be toxic, ay. Yeah, I know. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times. Stubborn at times. I know. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times. Stubborn at times. I know. You was right. Girl, I hate to see you cry, but that happens every single time we fight. Look, I'm far from a perfect guy, and I do anything to try to make it right. But you, babe, look, I know sometimes I act like I'm unbothered if I end up losing you, babe. You make me better, but we have this forever. I promise I will change. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket, ay. Yeah, I know. You was right. I admit it, that trade can be toxic, ay. Yeah, I know. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times. Stubborn at times. I know. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times. Stubborn at times. I know. You was right. The energy ain't been the same. But if we work on it, we surely can regain. Look, I went and booked a private plane, a little vacation in Barcelona, Spain. What you say? Spend some time just you and me to rekindle a special little thing. Ay, I know we always wanna agree, can't always have it my way, but I don't want you to leave. Please stay. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket. Ay, yeah, I know, you was right. I admit it, that trade can be toxic. Ay, yeah, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, stubborn at times, stubborn at times. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, stubborn at times, stubborn at times. You was right. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket. Ay, yeah, I know, you was right. I admit it, that trade can be toxic. Ay, yeah, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, stubborn at times, stubborn at times. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, stubborn at times, stubborn at times. You was right and I was wrong. 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 You was right and I was wrong.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll ask you. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.